So allegedly, street justice was served to Nazir with a straight punch in his face by Shanquella's ex-boyfriend.
They just made an arrest on one of them too, so.
Oh, they just made an arrest?
Yeah, but it just made me give you a more.
At the very moment when Shanquella's death case started getting more and more public attention and the public changed into a hungry lion, the Cabo 6 members literally showed their audacity to roam freely on the streets of North Carolina. The crowd took their chance and showed their audacity to serve street justice in the name of Shanquella. The disturbing video of the Cabo 6 being tackled by the angry public over their treatment of Shanquilla Robinson has surfaced. But what is even more interesting is that the one person in public was Shanquella's ex-boyfriend, Ricky. Ricky also jumped on the murderers and took part in serving street justice. We'll tell you what they got, which wasn't everything, but was nonetheless punishment. According to the North Carolina Beat, Shanquella's killers were caught in Greensboro, North Carolina, in broad daylight. When other Cabo 6 members were getting hit by the crowd, Shanquella's ex-boyfriend appeared from nowhere, and he started hitting Nazir Wiggins, one of the members of Cabo 6 and the alleged murderer of Shanquella. Look, the man in the black shirt is Nazir, and out of nowhere someone arrived, started kicking him, and gave him a hard blow. But why would Ricky only punch Nazir when the other suspects were also there? Because Nazir has been doing shady things since the death of Shanquella. Shanquilla Robinson was on vacation in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, when her mother, Salamandra Robinson, last spoke to her on the phone. According to Salamandra, a 25-year-old hairstylist from Charlotte, North Carolina, went on a trip on October 28th with 7 pals to celebrate a birthday. Mrs. Robinson said they had a villa and they stayed there all night. They didn't go out at all. According to Salamandra, on the first night of their journey, Shanquella called her mom before dinner, and their conversation was like this. She told me they had a chef. They were getting ready to eat. They were eating tacos or a salad or something, and I said, "Okay, I love you. Have a good night, and I will talk to you tomorrow." However, Salamandra and Shanquella lost contact with one another. Her 25-year-old daughter passed away in fewer than 24 hours, and Mrs. Robinson has now started interrogating her companions for details.
Pretty much asking them what happened on the trip, and asking them pretty much what we heard.
When North Carolina investigated the hotel management and staff, they told the police that the group was having a good holiday vacation, but some members suspiciously one day called the management and asked for medical help. The doctor came and did CPR on Shanquella, but she was dead already before the CPR process. But when Shanquella's mother asked the group what happened on that day, they denied everything and told different stories to her. She recalled, "They said she wasn't feeling well. They couldn't get a pulse. Each one of the people that were there with her was telling different stories." According to reports, Shanquella's acquaintances informed Salamandra that alcohol poisoning was the cause of her daughter's death. However, the mother stated that the FBI and Mexican authorities provided her with conflicting information. Salamandra said, when the autopsy came back, they said it didn't have anything to do with the alcohol. They said that she had a broken neck and her spine in the back was cracked. She had been beaten. In the midst of the family's efforts to find answers, a video has started making the rounds online, and it only serves to raise more doubts. Video footage of a fight that purportedly took place between Shanquella and a female acquaintance was initially published on a blog in North Carolina. In the video, a naked lady can be seen being punched, while someone outside the frame begs Quella to fight back. The site named a number of people who, according to the authors, were on the trip to Cabo with Shanquella at the time of her passing. One individual, whose name is given in the blog as Nazir Wiggins, has admitted that he was on the trip to Cabo, but he has refuted the assertion made in the blog that he was to blame for her death. Nazir posted an Instagram story writing, "How TF am I covering up something I'm just as blind as y'all about? I went to enjoy my birthday and in return got the worst day of my life." But the truth is against his words. If you have watched that disturbing video, there is a voice of a man that comes from behind, and the voice says, "Can you at least fight back, Shanquella?" And it is being speculated that this voice is Nazir Wiggins. A staff member also claimed that Nazir was seen there in the hotel when the doctor arrived, and he was also seen talking to the nurse. These things are all creating more confusion, but definitely are suspicious. So it is clear that Nazir is lying in that he does not have any concerns related to Shanquella's death. But Nazir is somewhere unaware of how this case is expanding rapidly, and the public has a keen eye on this case. One person said, Nazir knows the whole story about what happened to Shanquella. That rat, I pray he get his street justice on that guy. Another one urged Nazir to tell the whole story to the public, writing, Nazir the truth and not the damn juice boy. Nazir, please step up. Do the right thing, man. Tell Mr. and Mrs. Robinson what exactly happened to their baby girl. Justice for Shanquella. But you know what is even more devastating is that the federal government is not pressing any charges on anyone when the suspects can clearly be guessed. And when it is also evident that Shanquella did not die because of alcohol consumption, but because of the fractured neck and spinal cord injuries, the justice system is still not paying attention to this case. U.S. prosecutors decided not to press charges in the October death of Shanquilla Robinson. U.S. attorneys' offices in 2 North Carolina districts issued a statement explaining their decision just before Robinson's family members were set to hold a televised press conference to discuss the investigation and the murder. The statement was, "The investigation into the circumstances surrounding the death of Miss Robinson has been a priority for federal prosecutors and the FBI. As in every case under consideration for federal prosecution, the government must prove, beyond a reasonable doubt, that a federal crime was committed based on the results of the autopsy and after a careful deliberation and review of the investigative materials by both U.S. attorneys' offices. Federal prosecutors informed Ms. Robinson's family today that the available evidence does not support a federal prosecution. Moreover, officials in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, said that the available evidence does not support a federal prosecution after a detailed and thorough investigation and autopsy. And what is even more shocking is that Shanquella's case is now investigated as a femicide case when it's clearly a homicide. We don't know why they are doing this. Maybe it is another way of burying this case, but to some extent, it can be femicide. Shanquella may be killed because of being a woman, and we already know that the person behind all these heinous acts is Nazir Wiggins. He did not want to get his hands dirty and used other members so that his true face was not revealed.
Friends told them that they were seeing signs, so she was showing symptoms of alcohol.
Nazir is blatantly using the other members' names and telling a lie in this whole video that he was not there. But everyone at the hotel claims that Nazir was there. But this case has created a crisis in the whole world. The excessive murdering of Black women, the epidemic of missing or murdered Indigenous people, and the lethal shootings of women at spas are some instances of situations that experts think have the potential to be labeled as femicides. A scholar at a university said, as a society, we need to recognize that these are not one-off deaths. These are in fact connected to patterns of masculine violence, and we need to think more closely about preventing that kind of violence. But the main problem is execution. If Shanquella's case is really a femicide, then the prosecution must execute the law and punishment for the murderers of Shanquella, which the prosecution is not doing. And according to Shanquella's sister, no one has been arrested. Everybody is being arrested and doing time in Mexico. Everybody was extradited over there and doing time over there. That'll be justice for us as of now. And as we all know, because of these lies by Nazir and his again and again denying that he is not involved in Shanquella's death in any way, deliberate delayings and not paying deserving attention to this case, everybody has been angry with the system and especially on liar Nazir Wiggins. And everybody is finding a chance to teach a lesson to the murderers. So Shanquella's ex-boyfriend made it to the chance and became successful in teaching lessons to Nazir and punched him right in his face. And this is how he expressed himself.
White Nas from Cabo 6 tried to walk inside the club and think I wasn't gonna punch him inside his face. Come get your hat and...
But again, Nazir denies that he did not get punched.
He went to his story to say, nothing happened, y'all can stop calling me and don't listen to that lying compulsive blog.
That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.